AITA. Am I the a-hole for telling my fiancée her wedding dress choice is way too extravagant and suggesting alternatives? Sorry on mobile and throw away as she's a Redditor. We are getting married in July of this year, the venue is booked and the wedding is pretty much sorted. Emma has been researching dresses and has a little scrapbook of lots of dresses she likes for ideas but is now looking to buy. All that's left to get is the bridesmaid dresses and her wedding dress. We jointly put aside $10,000 each for the wedding, everything is paid and we have $6,000 left over which I think could go towards the honeymoon, on top of the honeymoon fund we already had. We aren't the extravagant type at all, then comes the time for Emma to pick her dress. I know everything is more expensive when it has the term wedding attached to it. What I wasn't expecting was a $950 dress plus $120 veil. I'm using my dad's old tux he used for his wedding to my mom, just had it taken in a little. Emma can't use her mom's dress as her, and her mom both say the style hasn't aged well, which is fair. I had a quick Google around at dresses online and there were so many. And so many just like the one Emma wants for like $50 to $100. I'm not trying to get her to cheap out on her dress, but she will literally wear it once. One dress for over $1,000 is just insane. That would fund our honeymoon. I tried to show her some dresses I found on a recommended app called Wish, and others on website, but she was having none of it. She is very slender but apparently wants it specially fitted. It turned nasty unfortunately, because I said I refused to drop such a large amount of money on a dress, and she argued that she is using her own money for the dress. Which isn't strictly true as we are about to marry, and our finances will be joined. Then her mom had to get involved. They offered to pay for the dress but it's not a case of not being able to afford it. It's a dress. There are identical ones online at a fraction of the cost. I thought she would be ecstatic to learn there are identical dresses for a fraction of the cost, but she was really angry and upset. AITA. Am I the a-hole here? Is there something I am seriously missing? Because after we argued about the dress, Emma has been extremely cold towards me. Then yesterday, she said if I want her to cheap out on her wedding dress on her wedding day, that she needs to really consider if we are a good match for marriage. I'm blown away that she would say that over a dress. I told her she's like a toddler throwing a tantrum over a sparkly toy she can't have, which was a mistake as she left to stay with her parents, who called to tell me I am much more than an a-hole. Am I the a-hole here? TL, Dr. Fiancé can get similar dress for around $100 with shipping online, but wants to blow over $1,000 at a local wedding dress boutique. Am I the a-hole for saying to get a cheaper one online? Edit. Emma found this thread. It was a mistake to post here, and I'm sorry I posted our problems on Reddit. I am the a-hole. YTA. You're the a-hole. You say you don't want her to cheap out, but then you say you want her to buy a $50 to $100 wedding dress. That's cheap. That's cheap even for a regular dress. Those cheap dresses you're finding online will look terrible in person, and are the source of so many disappointed women and jokes. Wedding dresses and their tailoring are expensive. $1,000 is actually a low-priced dress. Regardless of dress type though, your reaction to her, calling her names and deciding you have veto power, is the real problem. You should be solving this issue together. If you can't, maybe it's not time to get married yet. My sister ordered a dress off one of those Asian websites, where you select a dress, and send in your measurements so it's custom made for you, and when she got it, it looked exactly like it did on the website, which, many of us know, isn't always the case, but it turned out to be cheaply made. The boning broke and ended up jabbing her in the ribcage all night, and when she got home and wanted to get it off, the zipper was broken and our mom had to cut the dress off her. OP, please don't ask your fiancé to order a dress off a sketchy website. Maybe she can find something cute at a thrift shop, or buy a white prom dress if she's open to cheaper deals, but honestly, $1,000 is completely reasonable for a wedding dress. Don't forget, she is putting her money into this, she should be able to make some spending decisions. YTA. You're the a-hole. Dear Emma. Hope that isn't your real name, but who knows with this guy. You deserve so much better. You are a 27-year-old girl who already has $10,000 saved up, and is clearly so reasonable with finances. You found a dress you loved for a below average price. You're clearly smart and you shouldn't have to put up with this. He's just being controlling for the sake of being controlling. Like refusing to let your parents buy it? WTF. Like everyone here is saying, it seems like women this age don't put up with this, and neither should you. He has zero ability to self-reflect, and that will only cause more pain down the line. You could honestly do so much better. OP. Self-reflection is a thing. 1,000 people and the woman you love are telling you you're wrong, but by God you're going to stand by your wrong opinion to prove, what exactly? That you have no empathy? That you can't admit you're wrong? That you've tried to control her too much? That she shouldn't marry you? What are you trying to prove by defending yourself here? All you're doing is digging deeper and deeper into the hole of, geez, this woman is way too good for this guy. You do see how you're doing that, right? You could have let her parents pay for her dress, but nope. Gotta control her. Jesus OP, get some counseling to learn how to improve yourself before you get into another relationship. Hi Emma. OP said you can see this thread. Stay with your parents, this dude is a wiener. AITA. Am I the a-hole for bailing on a wedding the day before when I was a groomsman? I rekindled a friendship with my cousin, Joe. He had a fiancée, Mary. We haven't spoken since we were kids. Our parents don't talk. My parents now like them, and we all spent a lot of time together. His wedding was in 6 months. A few months before, he asked me to be a groomsman. I happily accepted. My wife was pregnant. Everyone was just as ecstatic as we were. We had an amazing gender reveal party and baby shower. Both events, Joe couldn't make it. Mary did attend. The only people she knew were my 3 brothers' girlfriends, and I saw them chatting a few times. A month later, I was with my brothers and their gals. One of the ladies said something bad about Mary, and stood up for her. In response, to my astonishment, Mary hated me, passionately. They were reluctant to give details. Turns out that Mary did not like my wife, my mother, and me. The comments were vile, and it mortified me. Conversations with Mary included implied illegal business practices of my mom. My wife is an ugly, C-word, dumber than a bag of rocks. I am the a-hole of the century. My wife and I should have had an abortion, because she felt we are completely incapable of raising a child. We should have killed it now rather than killing it later. This was said at my child's baby shower. Cherry on top, they heard the same things from Joe. I don't want to mention some of the things that were said. I can't bring myself to type it. I was beside myself. In defense of my wife, she has a master's degree. And my mother, they don't know a single detail about her work life. By now all the wedding formalities have taken place. My tux, wife's dress, hotel, dog sitter, time off work, everything. The wedding was in 5 days. I decided to give them the benefit of the doubt. I went to dinner with them, but kept a watchful eye on their behavior. Before appetizers, Mary is manipulating my mom into buying her a lavish wedding gift. It hit me there. It's important to the story that I mention my parents, who adored them as I did, invited them on one of our family vacations, all expenses paid. My parents fly private. The next day, I sat my parents and wife down and explained. Their jaws were on the floor. We all decided, we will not attend the wedding. My mom rebooked a business trip she had to miss. I cancelled everything, tried to send my tux back but ended up losing a couple hundred on it. Whatever. The thought of even looking at their faces made me sick to my stomach. I ghosted him until the day of the rehearsal. They were freaking out that I wasn't responding. Sorry, can't make it is all I said, and the last thing I have ever said to them. I had to turn my phone off from all calls and texts from them and extended family. I got several, "You ruined the wedding" ones. I have blocked them and don't intend to ever speak to them again. I've been at a crossroads whether this was the right thing to do. AITA? Am I the a-hole? ESH. Everybody sucks here. You should have been direct, and asked Joe and Mary if they actually said those things about you. Whether they admit it or not, if you still truly believe they said those things, tell them you weren't going to go to the wedding. The fact that you purposely waited till the rehearsal, without even confirming they said those horrible things, makes you suck too. Like, why would your cousin ask you to be a groomsman if he hates you and your wife so much? You should have confronted them and asked them directly. But obviously, if they said those things, they are absolutely a-holes. You are completely justified in bailing on the wedding, and cutting them out of your lives completely. ESH. Though I 100% respect your reasoning for bailing. The only thing that makes you suck here is that, the text you sent didn't explain why you weren't going to be there. Just because it wasn't very mature, but I totally get being disgusted and not wanting to participate in their wedding. The only thing I think you could have done differently is call him, and tell him what you were told. Explain that you don't care if he denies it, you trust the source and don't ever want to talk to him again, and won't be at his wedding. NTA. Not the a-hole. Hard situation to be in. You're sorta the a-hole with super short notice, but I get it. As for all the flack of "you ruined the wedding" text messages, that's garbage. Just delete and block.